Thanks.
Chuck, can I just say something to the audience
Sure.
about your girdle? You know what? Chuck does have a girdle on. He painted it flesh-colored and it put a belly button on it.
That's right. Can you believe that?
No, he doesn't.
Do you ever write that? Well, of course they write this stuff. They write it about everybody, don't they?
Oh, yeah, they do.
I finally made it. Yeah.
You know what they said about me once?
What?
About, I live on a boat, and so they put in the paper, one of those papers, that in addition to the boat that I live on, that I had a 50-foot boat behind that one just to keep my clothes in.
Ooh.
Isn't that silly?
But that's that makes you look like you're really...
Well, yeah, I got letters from all my relatives wanting more money. It was...
That's right, sure.
Yeah, but it's totally untrue.
Yeah, yeah. I wish it were true.
I do, too.
Yeah. I wish I could find a girdle to fit me. I'm going to try. I am.
You don't need a girdle.
Yeah,
You look
well,
great.
I could use one. We could all use a little girdle, a little tup, and a little nut, and a little tip, and a little whatever that is.
I read Kenny Rogers had a lipo.
He did, yeah, and he talked about it.
Hey, yeah, and he
they
lost...
stuck needles in him and pulled that fat
11
out.
pounds
11?
of fat.
Yeah, but you know what?
What?
It came back.
It did there?
Well, yeah, that's what happens. I mean, that stuff doesn't really work. I mean,
I thought maybe it came back in his knees or something.
no, he's got these 5-pound knees he's carrying around. No, it does. It comes back. Oh, let's get back to you now.
Okay.
Now, does it bother you that you're always thought of as Mrs. Brady? Because you are, in a way.
Well, I am Mrs. Brady. It's certainly a major part of my life for over 20 years. And
Gosh, has it been 20?
1969 we started.
Good Lord.
And it's been in syndication since, you know, like 70 or something, all over the world. And I would never deny that character. You know, it'd be like denying one of my drunk relatives or something.
Well, even though show's off the air, it's still like denying one of your drunk relatives.
Yeah.
But even though it's still off the air, I mean, people still care about the family.
Oh, they do care about that family. It was a very special, you know, we like, and we loved each other, about each other, and I think that came across. Yeah. And I think it's everyone's dream.
It does come across, and everyone looks very fondly at the characters and at the series and at you and all of that stuff, and it's nice.
Well, it is nice. You know, I was reading about Suzanne Summers and Patrick Duffy. They have a new show. I don't know what the name of it is, but everyone says it's like the Brady Bunch.
It's kind of like the Brady Bunch in a way.
And she said, well, I don't know about the Brady Bunch, you know, about Mike and Carol, but Patrick Duffy and I just have wild, crazy sex. And so my answer to Suzanne Summers is this. Yes, we had wild, passionate sex, and let's see if you can have it for 24 years.
Well, you know, she's hawking that little thigh buster or something. You see that?
Yeah.
You see that on tape where you got this spring you put between your legs and go, yes, this feels really good. Thank you.
We're going to have to get her a girdle.
That's right.
Yes, I have seen that.
Yes, the thigh buster. I don't know whether that's what it's called or not, but it probably isn't. That's a little too,
Yeah,
well, now speaking of that and speaking of these kinds of magazines and all that junk,
yes.
let's talk a little bit about Barry Williams.
Oh, wow.
Now, I mean, they said that you all had an affair. He was like 17 or something.
Well, actually, how this came about was a couple of weeks ago on one of your competitor shows. His initials are Geraldo.
Oh, Geraldo did this. Geraldo, I like to refer to him. Yes.
Gerald Rivers.
Yeah,
okay, Gerald Rivers.
Geraldo did this.
Yeah, Geraldo. And they were doing a show on television shows that had been around for many years. They were kind of like cult shows. And Barbara Eden was there and so forth. And they wanted me to fly into New York, and I couldn't go. But I said, why don't you have Barry Williams on? He's a wonderful guest and, you know, very nice and all that. So they did, and they asked if I would call in, which I did. I was driving somewhere else to do something, but I called on my car phone, and I talked to Geraldo. The first thing I said was, Geraldo, I'm so disappointed that I'm not in your book. Okay.
Oh, that's right. He had this book where he...
Kiss and Tell?
Yeah.
Shame on Geraldo. But anyway,
well,
there was no chance of my being in that book.
I just want everyone to know right now in television land, everybody that's part of television, none of you are safe during Florence's segment.
Okay. Well, anyway, he was talking to Barry, and then I got on, and he said, do you have any funny stories about Barry? Or Barry said they all dated each other, all the kids and everything. And I said, well, yes, Barry and I had a date. Now, this was the most innocent thing. You know, Barry had a crush on me, and I said, well, sure, I had a crush on him, like a teacher-student kind of thing. And I told the story of our date. And my goodness, I mean, it shows you what the American press has come to, you know, with Roseanne giving all this outrageous stuff, material in these pictures. I don't want to see her naked anymore.
No.
You know? Oh, I mean, she and Tom Arnold, it's enough already.
I don't see him naked either.
I don't want to see him naked. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see his girdle. I don't want to see her girdle. You know, it's enough already.
Well, but what did they say exactly? Now they blew this thing so far out of proportion.
I tell you, I was just in Hawaii.
It was like an affair or something, wasn't it?
They intimated that we had an affair, that we actually had sex.
Well, they intimated it to the point where everyone believed that you did.
I have gotten calls from all over the country. I was just in Hawaii. It's in the papers there. It's been on the news. I mean, I can't believe that someone could misconstrue that. Well, I guess I could, you know, but I'm not the Cher of the Brady Bunch set. I never was, you know.
So this was just a dinner out with him, and that was all.
He wasn't even old enough to drive. His brother had to drive him to my hotel. And then I drove us.
You see, this is like a bad love connection date. I'm telling you, Florence, you're digging a hole here. You got a backhoe, and you're just pulling it up. The minute you said hotel, I just saw him go, oh, well.
But see, that's in your mind.
Well, I know, and theirs too.
And everybody, because everybody would love to believe that Barry and I had an affair.
I wouldn't want to believe that. Come on.
Yeah, see,
What
yeah.
was that?
All those young guys down there would like to believe it, wouldn't you? Not bad, yes?
We got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with Florence right after this. Stay with us.
Coming up, more with Florence Henderson.
Back talking to Florence Henderson now. One of the things, besides the Brady Bunch, that we see you on all the time, I mean, for years, I don't know how many years you've been doing Wesson oil, but it's been... Oh, you're so bad.
I know he's going to tie this in with Barry Williams.
No, I'm not. There's no, and I'm not. I'm going to tie it in with chicken, maybe, but not very. But how long have you been doing those
This
things?
is my 15th year of selling Wesson
man,
oil.
What a run! That's incredible.
Isn't that great? Oh,
yeah.
I thank God and Wesson for the job.
Now, when you go, I mean, after 15 years, I realize when you first start doing a commercial, whatever, they take a lot of takes. I mean, it's like everything. But as you go along, now this is your 15th year, so you probably just whip them right out.
Well, I can do them pretty quickly, but still, they want a lot of takes. You know, 30 takes is not unusual.
30 takes for what? Like pouring it into a pan?
No, maybe like, you know, holding it up. It's like, you know.
30 takes of this?
I feel like I have a bottle growing out of my head. You know, sometimes I held that for so many years. Now I have plastic. When I used to have to hold the glass bottles, heavy. You know, there are a lot of things you can do with Wesson oil besides fried chicken and other things. I'm serious.
Underneath that sweet facade, you're a bad person, aren't you?
No, but I am mischievous. I'm the youngest of 10.
Mischievous is probably a better word.
5 brothers, 4 sisters. And I just kind of say anything that comes to my mind. I don't know why I do that.
Doesn't matter. Makes you more fun.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
now,
anyway.
I've seen a lot of these commercials.
They print 30 takes. They'll print them all. You got to please the client, the ad agency, all these different people. And they'll go, that was perfect. Can we have one more? And, you know, after you say that over and over again, you know, like the chicken tastes this light, all of a sudden it begins to sound like a foreign language.
Speaking of the chicken tastes this light, you ever eat anything that you make on the set?
Oh, sure.
So when you're making that chicken, you'll actually eat that?
Oh, sure. As a matter of fact, do you remember the one I did where I sang to the Johnny Mercer tune?
Yes.
The chicken's got a certain, and I bite, the Wessonality.
Yes.
Well, I had to, because, you know, you can't lie in a commercial now because they're very strict about that.
You used to be able to lie all the time.
Oh, people lied. They said they did everything, and they didn't. But I use Wesson oil. I have used it for many, many years. But when I bit out of this chicken, they got complaints that maybe I wasn't really biting the chicken. So I had to go into a recording studio. They had a barrel of chicken legs, drumsticks. They flew out some lawyers from New York and different people, and they went in the control room.
No, come on.
I swear. And I had to stand there at a microphone taking these chicken legs and go, the chicken's got a certain, and just bite out of it to prove that I
But you didn't have to swallow it, did you? I mean, after 30 takes, that's 14 chicken.
No. I had a little pail for, getting rid of the chicken after a while. And then I had to sign an affidavit that I had really made that sound and bitten into the chicken. I bit the chicken.
You bit that chicken, didn't you? I saw you bite that chicken. Yeah. Now you have a show on the Nashville network.
Yes.
Called Florence's Country Kitchen, or just Country Kitchen?
Country Kitchen.
Now,
Now, I've been doing that show 7 years.
have you really?
Yeah. I got to learn how to hold a job.
Was it like your kitchen? I mean, that kitchen, because a lot of times people will do a show like that and they duplicate their own kitchen. But you live on a boat, so
Well, I have a nice galley, nice kitchen.
Well, I know, but okay.
It's not like, I don't have a piano in my kitchen like I do on Country Kitchen. We have a piano. You have to come and do the show.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
I would, actually. I'd like to come do it.
You'd have fun.
I like to cook anyway, so I really do love to cook. I'm a baker.
You'd love doing our show. It's very spontaneous.
Well, who's some of the great chefs you've had on? Or guests, maybe I
John
should say.
Davidson was a lot of fun.
John is a great chef, too?
Well, actually, he was pretty good, except he made a dish that he used a lot of nuts, and he got his nuts caught in the... Show. Where did you people come from? The ladies are laughing. The ladies are laughing. I see them up there just like my mother. She's a very earthy woman. No, but John, that was the only time I think that we had to stop tape was he put... The mixer got clogged.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that'll happen when you get your nuts caught in it. The mixer will clog right up. Always does.
So we had to stop tape. That was the only time, and...
We may have had to stop tape.
No.
I'm not real sure.
No. Why?
Yeah. So well, who else was on the show?
Willie Nelson.
Willie
Nelson made country gravy.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I bet that was good, huh?
Well, it kind of turned to concrete.
Oh, a little lumpy, yeah.
Turned to concrete before our very eyes. But he was very sweet, a very sweet guest.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, Barbara Mandrell.
Barbara loves to cook. I know her, so I know she likes to cook.
All the Mandrell sisters have been on one time or another. And Mel Tillis.
I love it. Don't you love Mel Tillis?
Oh, he's very...
Yeah, do many of you remember who Mel Tillis is?
Oh, sure.
You do? Yeah, sure, okay. I just want to make sure, because Mel's around, but he hasn't been in records a long time. I can do the best Mel Tillis.
Do it.
And I don't mean to offend anyone who stutters, because a lot of people do, and it's a handicap. But with Mel, it's almost become a profession.
Right.
And Mel will say, listen, I want to introduce the guys in a band house, but I don't have time. It would take him.
That's true.
And it was all this.
That's very
all
good.
this stuff. A house.
That's
Yes.
very good.
What's your favorite recipe?
Well, I love Italian food. I love Italian food. I love to eat it. Although I grew up on a farm, in southern Indiana.
Whereabouts?
Well, I was born in Dale.
Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Right
You
out of
do?
Columbus.
You're the only one.
Right out of Columbus, Indiana. Columbus and
There's St. Meinrad, there's
Indianapolis.
Dale, and Evansville's the nearest big city.
Oh, so, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I didn't know where it was. You're down south.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
way down.
Southern part of the state. And then I lived in Rockport.
Mm-hmm.
Look of recognition there?
No.
Never heard of that one
Sorry.
either. Yeah, and then I went to school across the river in Owensboro, Kentucky. But down there we ate, a lot of fried foods and good food, a lot of vegetables and things like that. But I love Italian food. So I love pasta and I love salads. And...
I'll come on your show if you'll let me make pizza from scratch.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, I can do either kind. I can either do a Chicago deep dish or I can do a regular flat pizza.
I like the flat.
Okay,
pizza.
then I'll do a flat pizza, because most people can do that anyway, and it's really easy to do.
Is it?
Yeah, if
you
know
don't
what
make
you're
the
doing.
dough, do
Oh,
you?
yeah, I make everything.
Wow.
Yeah. What a
You can
guy.
even wear the girdle, yes.
That's why I have to wear this girdle. We'll be right back. My girdle. It's a little tight.
Coming up next from the Series C